Hey, it is your buddy Peace and Harmony with you here today. And we're zooming in and focusing in a little bit more in depth in understanding chronic emotional pain that is the result of trauma, that is the result of narcissistic abuse, psychopathic abuse, being around those individuals who are emotionally manipulative, emotionally neglectful, those people who have hurt others at the most core level of their being, their spirituality, their emotionality, their physicality, their healthy relationship expression, and really, feeling a sense of emotional self-limitation in most areas of their life. They might excel in specific isolated areas. They might be a workaholic. They might be a health addict. They might be very isolated in success in specific areas of their life, but overall, they are presenting with chronic emotional pain, unhappiness, unfulfillment, social anxiety, afraid to love themselves, feeling inadequate, really sort of the negative, undergirding feelings that tend to be very pervasive and affect their quality of life. So we want to look more in depth on really what this is and how to blow through it, how to really heal it, how to become whole and not allow it to be the pesky, bothersome state of life, low quality of life, which oftentimes is hampering and holding people back, and it's creating a real issue. If we look at emotional pain and really the source of it, oftentimes it is because your emotional needs are not being met or have not been met. And so you continue to reinforce this, rehearse this, memorize this, and set yourself up for future disappointment or validation of that truth or reality within your life experiences. So someone who is presenting with emotional pain, social anxiety, depression, and anxiety. This is based on certain thoughts and certain feelings, which create a cycle, which create a reinforcement. They feel negative, so they feel negative. They think negative, so they feel negative. Feel back and forth, and this affects their choices, their behaviors, really all areas of their life. And when we talk about emotional needs, really when we look at the core emotional needs and what those are, number one, those are to be validated, loved, and told that you are lovable, that you are magnificent, that you are, and you are in the positive definition of the word. So if you did not receive that either early in your life, the middle of your life, towards the end of your life, or all stages in between, oftentimes that is the source of your emotional pain. You are not feeling lovable, good enough, attractive enough, smart enough. Somehow there is a judgment going on, a criticism. It could have been one severe criticism. It could be ongoing and chronic criticism. But this negative valuation or negative validation, which told you are not something. You are not lovable. You are not likable. You are not good enough. You're not perfect. But yet, that was the negative message, which you then began to cause kind of as the cornerstone of your emotional life and your emotional real kind of value of yourself as a person. And this is the beginning of the story gone bad. And so, but oftentimes people then take that external locus of control as their end point, as their internal, locus of control. So they internalize these negative messages and begin to run their life like it by a hard drive. In other words, it's these negative, erroneous messages which begin driving their life, driving their choices, driving their relationships, driving their career choices, driving their food choices, driving their, choices really in all areas of their life, how well they take care of themselves, really how they express themselves, how they tap into their inner talents, whether they know their strengths or not. They become kind of fueled by their weaknesses, and their life is not ending up where they feel like they're falling short. They're basically not where they want to be. There's a disconnect. There's a cognitive, discongruency going on, and they're living in a state of cognitive dissonance. In other words, they're trying, effort, no result, no result, no result. And so they feel like they're either stuck, stifled, stagnant, or going backwards. And it is because they're trying the wrong efforts. They're basically, staying in that same energetic field, which is resulting in this emotional pain. So realizing that the cause of this oftentimes is the source, it is an external locus of control. So people then begin to externalize their source of control. In other words, it's pleasing this narcissist, it's pleasing this psychopath, it's taking their judgments, their physical abuse, their emotional abuse, their hurtful words, their belittling, their their condensation at face value. And it's basically there's no protective boundaries. It just is absorbed like a sponge. And especially when people don't know that they're either young, their brains are not, formed, they are not matured. They're very, as they say, children are impressionable. So if you put a negative impression, they're going to soak it up, and that is what they're going to be. Basically, they're going to look that as the world is that. Whether they're living in a high income or a low income area, they are receiving impressions. If someone, were to take you and say, no matter what you put your mind to, you can follow your dreams. And I want that to come from within you. I want you and I to discover that together. We're going to find out what makes you you, what makes you special, and what helps you become the best you can be and bring the light to the world and bring love to the world and bring talent to the world and wonderful experiences. So rather than that being the message, it's you need to do this for me. You need to clean my house. You need to be perfect. You need to have, perfect hair, perfect feet, perfectly clean your room, whatever all those messages are. The child is always running around afraid. They can't just be, and that's the time of their life to be. So a lot of people feel like they've been robbed of, these formative years, but I'm telling you now that little child is still within you. It is correctable. That all those negative messages are external, outside. They were given to you by an external source. So we need to recognize how that happened and realize that it was just that. It was a negative message. It was a negative message, which is creating this negative feeling, this negative blueprint, and that was outside of you. It has nothing to do with what is inside of you or the power within you. So now we want to kind of rekindle that and go back to that area. I have viewers who have been so chronically abused. Their parents have been psychopathic. Their parents have been narcissistic. They feel like they don't have this innocence. Well, I'm telling you, the fact that you are breathing new air, you have got new cells creating, you've got cells in your body which are dying by the trillions and being regenerated by the trillions, and your thoughts are the same way. You have the ability to engage and encourage neuroplasticity, reformatting of new neural networks and connections within your mind to create new thoughts, new feelings, new cognitions, new behaviors, new choices, and create a new reality and a new identity. This is absolutely positively correct. I'm not saying I'm going to change the color of your eyes or change the color of your skin. I'm going to advise you, I'm changing the color of your thoughts and the color of your emotions. If you've been surrounding yourself and reinforcing these negative thoughts, you need to realize how you're doing this. I'm melancholy, I'm dark, I'm depressed, I'm dark, pain. Well, take a look around you and realize what is reinforcing that right now. The color of your hair, the clothes that you're wearing, the way that you're standing, the things that you're eating, the people who you're around, and your job. The thoughts that you think every day and the feelings you allow yourself to feel. The choices that you make and the behaviors that you make. These are all reinforcing and have been rememorized, just rehearsed again and again. Like you were to take a flashcard, I'm dark, I'm depressed. I mean, like you've recited this again and again and again to the point now you're living that reality. You've taught yourself this feeling. You've taught yourself these thoughts. You've taught yourself to live in this place. And why? Because it's safe. Because look who told me this. Look who's taking responsibility for me now. This narcissistic parent is taking responsibility. This psychopathic relationship is taking responsibility. It's all their fault. I have nothing to do with this. It is their fault. And basically, I hurt. I hurt. I can't change. How can you say you can't change when you can change right now? When you can change whether your hands are like this or they're like this, whether your arms are like this or they're like this, whether you stand like this or like this. You can change your posture. You can change your emotional posture. You can change your emotionality. You can change your feeling. Just like you can jump into a cold shower or you can jump into a hot shower. You can jump into the emotions. So I want to encourage you to realize, number one, and this is oftentimes very radical, and it is the most resistant thing that people want to say, is that they're afraid of changing. They're afraid of letting go of this person. They're afraid of being basically living in the quantum field. They're afraid of the solution. They're afraid of taking responsibility. They're afraid they don't have the solar plexus. They don't have the foundation. They don't have the leader within. This is so contrary to the victim. This is all I've known. My identity, who I am, is caught up in this. I'm always underneath this person. I always feel this way. Always, always, always. And always can't be changed, can it? Always Coca-Cola? Always? That's a very profound word. And your word is law. Your word sets your life into motion. Your word is your law. You're creating the law of your life when you speak these words. So realizing that you have responsibility and you have accountability to yourself and you have the power to change and not blame, that oftentimes is very radical. It needs to be learned, and it might take months or years for you to really find that little switch within, a teeny tiny lever, which goes, you know what? Maybe I am responsible. Maybe I do have power over this. Maybe I can feel better. God, that would be embarrassing, right? I've given over so much of my energy over here. This is really humiliating. This is embarrassing. You know, the fact that, I'm able to spring up over this, I feel a little guilty. I feel a little bit bad. Don't I really want to please this person and let them win by saying, look how weak I am? Aren't I really just validating them with every step of weakness that I take? Ain't I really just voting them in? Yes, it's for the narcissist. Yes, for the narcissist. Yes, for the narcissist. Do I really want to give up my vote for them? Do I really want to vote for me? They never voted for me in these ways. How can it begin with me? How can it start with me? Do I really have a seed of beginning within me? Didn't it all really begin with them? Or did it really begin with me? Is there really a beginning within me? Is there really an igniting? Do I really have cells which are taking in new oxygen right now? Do I have cells in my body which are feeling the blood, which are from my heart, that is newly beating right now? Do I really have thoughts which my body is moving to right now? Do I have the ability to make a little jostling right now and move into that area which has been causing me pain? And can I now put positive energy and motion into it right now? Can I take choice? Can I make decisions? Can I begin to see real and realistic and long-lasting change? Is this a possibility, or have I been believing in the impossible? Have I been believing in victimization? Have I been believing in the narcissist's reign and terror over me? Have I been giving it up to them? Acknowledging this and realizing this is going to be the crossroads, is going to be the cornerstone for your healing. And yes, you do need some tools to reinforce it. I'm not telling you that you need to go to the hardware store. I'm telling you might need to go to the office supply store. You might need to go to your junk drawer. You might need to go to your desk. You might need to find a pen. You might need to find a notebook. And you might need to find an appointment book. These are tools, but tools used in a creative and innovative way. You need to have at least these fundamentals right now to begin to take responsibility and accountability, to create your to-be list, to create your feel list, to create your recovery date, to create your hours of feeling, to begin to program this and schedule this in and follow up and follow with the faith of a mustard seed, which is that little seed of beginning within you, and allow it to grow. Allow it to grow. Allow it to be, and allow it to take root, and allow it to give it some vision, some hearing, some sense, some taste. What else have we left out here? Our 5 and 6 senses. There are more senses than that which is really this is engaging in your 6th sense. It's allowing that higher level cognition to get a chance to kind of come down and be within your body and allow it to come from that invisible space. And so to begin right now, I'm going to follow up in the next videos on really focusing in on the recovery journal, the to-be dates, the recovery date, the feeling appointments of feeling. And I really want you to pick up these items and begin to plug these in. And you have to bypass the logical mind, because it is the mind which is giving you the block. It's giving you the barricade. It's giving you the wall. If you overthink, you're resisting. You have to allow your body to do and allow it to be and allow it to trust and to be at one when you do this. We're going to be focusing on that. But for now, I want you to realize that the responsibility and the health and healing is in your hands. It is in your hearts. Let's bypass the head, but it's going to take a little bit of gentleness, a little bit of I am, a little bit of I feel, and a little bit of just a gentle movement to get you there. It doesn't have to take Hercules. It just has to take humbleness and humility. It is your buddy, Peace and Harmony, with you here today, and I hope that these videos do help. Please share and please subscribe for more great tools, videos, discussion, and support.